Women's swimming and diving gets underway this weekend down the Old North State at Campbell and Bowie Creek, North Carolina. Here to tell us about the season coming up is head coach Jake Shellenberger. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well, Alan. Thank you.
How's preseason going?
It's going well. You never quite know where you are until you actually swim, until you actually race somebody. But having said that, training is going well. And if that's a good indication, then all will be good this Saturday at Campbell.
How about this summer when the girls go away? Some might stay in town to do some training. So the couple months they're away since classes were done in the spring, what's the responsibilities of the girls to kind of stay in shape and get ready for the fall?
Stay in shape. Yeah, absolutely. We have a motto, you're not just an athlete, student athlete during the school year, but 365, 24/7. And so, your opponents are preparing all summer, all spring. And if you want to beat them, then you need to be doing that as well. And, we do run a summer program, and the NC2A is neat in that they allow us to coach in the summer, and we can even use our travel budget under NC2A rules to go to summer meets. So the U.S. Open, U.S. Nationals in the summer, Olympic trials, we can go and compete as Liberty University, which is neat.
When you look at what this team did 2 years ago, winning the CCSA, finishing second last year, does that kind of leave an empty pit in your stomach to want to get back on top?
Yeah, it does. Certainly you always want to win every year. If there's any consolation prize, which again we want to win every year, it's that Florida Gulf Coast is a legitimate top 25 program. So we didn't just lose to, it wasn't a bonehead game,
right,
or a bonehead meet where you think, gosh, how did we lose that? Gulf Coast is legitimate. They have people that are top 8 at NC2As. They have people that could swim for anybody, Stanford, Georgia, Cal Berkeley. So losing to them, there's no shame in that. Obviously, we want to beat them, but it's not that we lost to somebody that we shouldn't have lost to, if you want to look at it that way.
You've beefed up the schedule again here in 2015. What goes into building a swimming and diving schedule, and give me some idea of the potential?
Well, one of the benefits, the benefit to swimming and diving is you can build your own schedule. One of the drawbacks is that you have to build your own schedule. And so, I basically look at our football schedule every year and try to figure out where football is going to be, and then we make our swimming schedule around football.
Okay.
Reason being, number one, we want to definitely make sure that we have our best recruits in town for games like this past Saturday, playing Montana. Unfortunately, some teams, if the league sets your schedule, you're away and you miss Montana Liberty.
Right.
And that's not one that you want to miss. So it's nice in that we can schedule our own meets. There's no league schedule that we have to be at. Certainly the conference meet and NC2As are penciled in stone. But other than that, we're free to make our own schedules. The hard part is you have to go out and make your schedule. You have to be proactive and talk to coaches and get teams and beg and plead sometimes, to get people to swim you. But it's going to be exciting. A great schedule this year. The Big 12 is the last conference that we haven't beaten yet. Okay. And that's simply a lack of effort. We haven't swam a Big 12 program yet. So the other P5 programs, we've beaten at least one school from every P5 conference, except for the Big 12. So we're excited to go to Fort Worth and swim TCU. It'll be a good time. The other big meet that we're excited about is Georgia Tech and Penn State. And, of course, Liberty football is playing at Georgia State in Atlanta the next day. And so we're going to go down Friday. We're going to swim Georgia Tech and Penn State Friday night. And then we're all going to go to the game on Saturday to watch the Flames beat up on I think to the Panthers.
Yep.
Are they the Panthers? Yeah.
Yep, they are.
Georgia State. So that'll be a lot of fun. Other big meets, obviously, Florida Gulf Coast is on the schedule during our Florida training trip. We have an interesting home slate this year. We have 2 separate home meets that are going to run a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it'll be 3 days in a row of racing. Campbell on Friday and then UNC Asheville on Saturday and Sunday. So technically 2 separate meets. But we're just going to run it 3 days in a row. See how that works out.
You mentioned Penn State, where you came from. Emotionally, what's it like facing your old school?
Yeah, it's neat, and I still know everybody on staff. Don't know any of the student athletes anymore, obviously, but know the staff. It's neat for Jessica, too. Jessica Barnes, our longtime assistant coach. She's been here the whole time that I've been here. Her brother now coaches at Penn State, Steve Barnes.
Okay.
And so, Jessica obviously swam at Penn State as well. So she was a 4-year student athlete at Penn State, won 2 Big Ten team titles. And now her brother is coaching for the Nittany Lions. So there's still a connection to Penn State, but certainly Liberty is first and foremost in our hearts and minds.
When you look at the girls you have on this team, 17 letter winners return, 10 freshmen. You like the makeup of this team?
We have a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
It's always interesting September, molding the freshmen. Everybody comes from a different club program. Everybody comes from a different high school program. And they all come into one program,
right.
And it's learning, how we like things done, and there's some leeway. I mean, not everything has to be the straight and narrow as far as, do this, not that. There's some leeway as far as what they did in their club programs, and there are some things that we believe in that we want to see done a certain way, and that can be tricky sometimes. But we're excited. 9 swimmers and 1 diver. Which is big. Brooke Fox is going to join her sister Courtney Fox, and then Maddie Long as our 3 divers, which is big. For the first time in program history, we will have 3 divers, which is good news. The way that conference scoring works out at the CCSA conference meet, divers count as 1/3 of a person, which is interesting. But they count as 1/3 of a person, and you have 18 scoring spots. And so you can have 3 divers count as 1 person on your roster. So we'll score 17 swimmers this year and 3 divers for 18 people total. And that should be good news for us come February.
You look at Campbell, give me an idea of scouting the Camels and what you're up against this weekend. How the scores have been for some of your girls here in preseason so far.
Yeah, Campbell is always interesting as far as the meet. We're always a little rusty. And so are they. I mean, it's the first meet of the year, and it's become sort of a tradition to open up with Campbell. Campbell was our first ever dual meet that we opened up here at home way back in 2010, first ever season. And since then, we've scheduled Campbell first just about every year. No rhyme or reason. It's an easy meet, close by, and good competition. They do well considering the resources they have as far as scholarships. They do well considering, some of the facility issues they have. They are worthy opponents, and they won some races last year, when we swam them last year. They're good. Pascal, he's their head coach. He's from France, Pascal Molinard. He's a great coach. They do well there. They'll be tough. I mean, they had, just to throw out some times, they had a young woman go 2:05 last year in the 2 fly in September, which is a pretty good swim, and she went on to do really well during the year, and then certainly at our conference meet. So they'll be good. Don't know a whole lot about their freshmen, but they do return, quite a few good swimmers, and 2 fly, that girl's back, and she'll probably be 2:04, 2:05 once again. So they'll be good. We're gonna have to swim well.
And you'll be good as well. Bring back a win, okay?
We'll be good as well. Yeah, we like to use Campbell, to sort of get back in shape, see where we are, but we have to race. I mean, we can't go down there and take it easy, or they could beat us. It's good to see our freshmen race in that meet. We put them in their A events, and put them in live racing situations. Some of the upper class types, we might rest them a little bit. Not rest them, but maybe they'll swim off events or not the best racing situations. Kind of hide them a little bit. We've got Georgia Tech and Penn State the next weekend,
right.
And we might want to hide a few people, and just so we can give the Ramblin' Wreck, something to look forward to.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
That's head women's swimming and diving coach Jake Shellenberger. Be sure to stay logged on at libertyflames.com for all the results this weekend from Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. For the coach, I'm Alan York for the Liberty Flames Sports Network.